The days leading up to the weekend, to our favorite Shabbat, is always filled with so much excitement because we know that the weekend is definitely something to savor. I had a crazy busy week this week. I had a wedding, a Sheva Brachot, my husband's birthday, all in one week, and Thursday is my major cooking day and prepping day. This specific Thursday, we had a Sheva Brachot to go to, and I didn't even know if I was going to make it in time, but you'll see in the video how I managed it all. I also wanted to show you how I'm going to be sprucing up my guest room. It's okay, but I wanted to just add in some personal touches. So I'll take you along and show you how I completed this little transformation in my guest room. First thing that I did was remove all of the beddings and the curtains, as you'll see, to create a blank slate. I got rid of all of our old mattresses and replaced them with Helix sleep mattresses. Since everybody is different, Helix made a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preference to the perfect mattress for you. Based on your different sleep positions and firmness preference, they have something for everyone's unique taste. Based on my sleep quiz, Helix matched me with the Helix Twilight Luxe, and this is what the mattress has to offer. You can personalize your mattress even more by adding in the Glacial Text cooling cover, which keeps you cool and comfortable while you sleep, which is especially important in the summer months like we are in right now. As you saw, the mattress comes rolled up in a box and is easy to set up. I was nervous about getting a mattress online initially, but once I found out that Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, it was a no-brainer for me. I love the convenience of getting it shipped right to my door with more than 3 months to make sure that I love it. Plus, Helix mattress has a 10-year warranty. My in-laws, who are very picky about where they sleep, have been loving these mattresses, and so have our other guests. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep. You can click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/Sonya's Prep to get 20% off your Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows. Now that the beds are made, it's time for a few personal touches. I got some curtains off of Amazon. I really like these. Actually, they're the blackout shade ones. I'll have them linked in the description box for you if you guys are interested. I placed them onto the curtain rod and hung them up, and they were just gorgeous and matched the overall color scheme of that room perfectly. I'm so super happy with how the guest room turned out in the end. With just a few small changes, really, the guest room looks completely different and really put together. So I'll be going into my cooking marathon now with an ease of mind, I guess, that my guest room is all ready for our guests and it looks perfect and clean and tidy. And I love the small touches with the water and the snacks and the nightlight over there. So let's get started on the cooking. If you've seen any of my previous cooking videos, you know that I have to clean up my kitchen before I get started. So it was a hot mess. I'm going to take you along very quickly and show you how I'm going to tidy up. But before I do that, I do put something on the stove so at least something is getting cooked while I'm going to be cleaning up. And over here, I just put some oxtails into some water so it could start boiling. Oh, that's so much better. I love working in a clean space. It just declutters my mind and I can actually think. So now I'm going to be washing 2 cups of basmati rice over here as a side dish for our main. And I'm going to add in some water. So I find that 2.5 cups to 2 cups of basmati rice is perfect. I then season it with some salt and I add in about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. I give it all a good mix. I cover it with some foil and place it in the oven at 400 degrees for 45 minutes. For the chicken, all I did was add in some duck sauce and I seasoned it very lightly with some salt and some paprika. You can definitely add in more seasonings if you so choose, but I felt like it was perfect. It didn't really need that much to help it along. It came out perfectly. It was sticky and delicious and sweet. My kids just devoured it. It was perfect. I didn't even have that much left over. Usually I have leftovers for Sunday and Monday, but it was all devoured. It was a very big hit. So again, I'm going to be covering that with foil as well and placing it into the oven at 400 degrees for about an hour and then uncovering so it could get a nice golden color for a little bit. My kids' all-time favorite is the sesame teriyaki salmon. I haven't made it, I feel like, in months, and they kept asking me for it. So why not? I did it. All I did differently with this time was I added in some everything but the bagel seasoning over the top, and it just created a different texture, and it was really quite pretty. I covered the salmon also, and I'm going to be placing it into the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll just check on it and make sure that it's fully cooked through. So as you can see, because I know that I'm going to have a very hectic Thursday night with the Sheva Brachot coming up, I tried to make a menu that was very light and not so involved. The salmon did come out perfectly after about 15 minutes. Because I did that, I was definitely able to run out and go join the Sheva Brachot that I really wanted to join. When I got home, I quickly just finished up the oxtails. It was cooking for a good few hours, which is perfect. Oxtails, type of meat that you just need to cook down so it could just fall off the bone. All I needed to do at this point was peel some potatoes and add that in, and it just became this delicious sticky stew at the end. After adding in the potatoes, I seasoned it with some salt and black pepper and added in a few bay leaves. I gave everything a good mix and left it on a low flame for another hour before I headed on off to bed. The rice and chicken also came out perfectly. For some reason, I didn't get a shot of the chicken, but it did come out great. Before I headed on off upstairs, I did load the dishwasher and start it so that I can empty out the dishwasher the next day to get started on a few of the other preps that I need to do to welcome the Shabbat. It's the next day on Friday right after work, and I always get started by placing my sourdoughs into the oven. While the sourdoughs are getting cooking, I wanted to get started on a few dips and a few salads, and I love using my food processor for this. I'm making matbucha here, and I have all of these garden vegetables that I've been getting. I'm so excited that the garden is producing so much, and I'm just really excited to be actually using the fruits of my labor, as they say. So I put in, I don't know, about 9 or 10 tomatoes in here and about 4 to 5 green chili peppers or jalapenos. I gave everything a good whiz until it's almost like a salsa type texture. I really enjoy my matbucha that texture. So I added in about a 1/4 cup of oil, all of the vegetables, and I'm going to let that come to a good simmer for about 10 minutes until it cooks down and gets some of the liquid to evaporate. Now I'm using the shredding function in my food processor, and I'm going to be shredding up some zucchinis. I'm going to be making a zucchini roll. I've done this previously in my videos, and it's my husband's favorite actually. So I place the zucchinis in and I shred them. Now, all the zucchinis are basically different sizes, so your flour and egg ratio may differ than mine. So you're just gonna have to go by feel on this one. For me, I put in a 1/3 cup of flour and 4 eggs into my batter. If you feel that it's a little bit too dry, add in another egg. And I just seasoned it very simply with some salt and black pepper. I gave everything a good mix, and I just made sure that it was like a mushy texture where it wasn't going to be too dry. I placed in some parchment paper on a baking sheet and placed the zucchini batter over the top and flattened it out. So as you're going to see, I'm jumping around from task to task in the kitchen, like I think most of us do. While I was making the zucchini roll, the oven beeped that I have to open the lids or take them off. So after 25 minutes of the sourdough's cooking, I had to open up the lids. And then I had to put in some garlic into the matbucha. I have about 6 to 7 garlic cloves over here that I'm going to be mixing into the matbucha. The matbucha is already getting thick, so I'm going to start seasoning it with some salt, some turmeric, paprika, and cumin and coriander. I use about 2 teaspoons of each of these, and I give everything a good mix and still leave it on the fire so it can thicken some more. Next up, I'm making cucumber salad, and these are cucumbers also from our garden, which is so amazing and so cool. I'm going to be cutting off the tops and bottoms and using the slicing feature on this food processor so it could cut my time in half. To the cucumbers, I added in some red onions, and of course my timer went off in the middle of it that I have to remove my sourdoughs from the oven. So we all multitask, we all do a million things at once, and I'm no different. So I'm going to be taking out the sourdough and placing them on a cooling rack so they can cool off. After the oven had a chance to cool down a bit, I put in my zucchini roll into a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. Now I'm going to be moving back to the cucumber salad. I dressed it with some vinegar, oil, sugar, black pepper, and some salt. I give everything a mix. You could season this to your liking and to your taste preference. You're just trying to balance out the acidity and the sugar. The zucchini roll gets finished with some garlic mayo. So I have about half a cup of mayo, 4 to 5 cloves of crushed garlic, salt, and black pepper. And I'm going to be chopping up some dill into it as well. I mix everything thoroughly. There are a few ways to assemble this. You can either just slather on the garlic mayo and roll it into a roll, or you can do what I'm doing by cutting it into strips of rectangle pieces and then stacking it up more like a zucchini cake and placing in the garlic mayo in between the layers. A beautiful way to finish this off is by adding in some sliced cherry tomatoes over the top with a sprinkling of dill. I just didn't have any on hand, but that's a beautiful addition to add right before serving. I had a few more garden vegetables that I needed to use up, so I had these eggplants, a tomato, and a jalapeno pepper and some garlic that I roasted up in a grill outside. Shai actually did it, and I'm just scooping everything out, and I'm going to be making a paste out of all of it, and it comes out really delicious and smells really nice and smoky. So I mushed up the eggplants, I peeled the jalapeno peppers, and you'll see that I'm going to be peeling the tomato and just dicing everything really small. In the back there, my kids are washing the dishes and cleaning out the dishwasher, so everyone has some chores that they're doing right before Shabbat. If you want to watch a video of what I showed how we get our whole entire house ready for Shabbat and the things that we actually do, I'll have a link down below for you. It's a very interesting and enlightening video, I hope.
I've seen those faces, I've heard.
All I do is add in some salt and give everything a good mix, and the salad is done. At this point, the entire house is put together. All of us are dressed in our beautiful Shabbat clothes. The kitchen is tidied up, and we're ready to welcome the beautiful and holy Shabbat into our home. At this point, it's a few short minutes right before Shabbat starts. The men are off to shul usually, and I get the salads out of the fridge so I can place them on the table. I light my beautiful Shabbat candles, and I am so excited about welcoming Shabbat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all next time. Shabbat Shalom from my family to yours.
Something knocked you out.